Right now, it's really just a waiting game. The sheriff says they will not be leaving from this scene until this situation is resolved. Told by investigators that woman suffered bruising from the abuse. A Mobile woman says her home was sprayed with bullets early this morning. It's been a week long of festivities to welcome these two teams here as they face off in the big game tomorrow. They say this is an active investigation, and as you can see behind me, it's still a very active scene. The guy who shot this video was actually involved in the crash, but when he saw things going sideways, he pulled out his phone and started recording. After our story aired last night, the woman accused of taking him returned him back home. Several other people had to run inside this Target and take cover from bullets. While she says she's doing good, this whole situation has traumatized not only her, but her kids as well. Parade goers that I talked to today say it's all a part of the parade experience and it's expected. And if you didn't get hit with anything, did you really have a good time? In fact, someone sent us this video of those MPD cars rushing down. Today's protest was filled with chants of justice for OJ and say his name. According to investigators, French was shot by a Bay Minette police officer. The woman certainly didn't try to disguise herself, and I'm told by the owners, Mobile police know who she is. This all follows a violent crime spree. 4 innocent people shot and killed. The shooter is also dead. We've seen U.S. Marshals arrive. They've joined the SWAT team as this active manhunt continues. The Incas rolled through downtown in a short and sweet parade for the first time in 2 years. One of the reasons why we've decided to show it tonight, because this case remains unsolved. We just know here is where that gun battle unfolded between a Mobile police officer and that driver. Now we want to show you just how many evidence markers they've placed on the ground. They're taking a piece of history that's been underwater for 150 years and bringing it to the surface. We have learned that the incident happened outside of a home out here on Western Hills Drive. It's been smooth sailing ever since. Now, even though that rain did delay the start, they say that people are ready to see the performers. It's not only affecting him. He says Marley was loved by everyone in the community, and they can't figure out why someone would want to do something horrible like this to an innocent animal. It was a very emotional interview for the both of us. The woman's 1-year-old daughter is in Children's and Women's Hospital tonight suffering from severe burns. Now, about an hour ago, I found these court documents that were just posted about the case. Investigators are alleging that the baby's father poured boiling water down the child's throat.
I get in the apartment, my baby face is just messed up. Her whole head, her left shoulder is just like, ooh.
Tonight, a Pritchard mother is angry and wants the person responsible for hurting her child locked up. Victoria Lett says her baby Royalty was severely burned, allegedly by the child's father. This is a picture of her in ICU at USA Children's and Women's. Lett says she left the house to go to an event, but when she got back home, she couldn't recognize her daughter.
I can't even stand to even look at her. I can't even keep calm. I can't even maintain my body for real. So we rushed her to the hospital, and from then they just, her injuries had just started worsening.
Lett says Royalty was left alone with the child's father, 23-year-old Eugene Sneed. Breaking tonight, court documents show what allegedly happened. According to the documents, on Sunday, Sneed allegedly poured boiling water down the throat of the child, causing internal injuries, as well as multiple burns to the child's face.
Would do something like this to an innocent baby. It's not right. That baby was there, or she thought she was, in a safe home with her father. It wasn't right what he did to our baby. He messed up our life with this. She was just an innocent child.
As Royalty continues to fight in the ICU, her mother wants justice.
Her lungs, critical, everything. Critical. That's how they know that it was done purposely. They said it was an intentional thing that he did.
Justice for Royalty.
That's all we want.
That's all we want.
And the Mobile County DA's office filed this motion late this afternoon asking a judge to revoke Sneed's bond. He was scheduled to go on a trial later this month on a domestic violence charge. As of now, Sneed has not been taken into custody. Now, these court documents say he's being charged with aggravated child abuse. Live in the studio tonight, Ariel Mallory, Fox 10 News. And everyone is okay, but as you just saw in that video, it was a frightening few moments for the family. The father believes he knows what started the fire. He says it was his son's hoverboard.
Oh,
A terrifying and shocking wake-up call for this father last night when he saw flames coming from his son's bedroom.
I heard something like a boom, like somebody fell.
That wasn't the case.
When I got up, I was walking out and I just seen a spark come from their room. My mind playing tricks on me.
It was not. Jeremy Hackett says his son's hoverboard caught fire while his son was laying right beside it, torching the side of the bed. Moments later, that's when he grabs the fire extinguisher, his wife rushing their 5- and 10-year-old sons out of the room, the boys screaming. Hackett says the hoverboard was charging the night before.
It's a scary feeling, but at times like that, as a father, you can't panic. You got to think with a clear head. I know it's hard for a lot of people, but you have to think with a clear head, because by panicking, you could have made it worse.
A first experience for all of them. He says he'll be sitting down with his kids to explain what to do in the future.
We never talked about what happened as a fire, but now we're going to go through the motions, because it took them a minute. And thank God they got up when they did, though.
Stephen Millhouse with Mobile Fire Rescue says that's a good idea.
Everyone should have a plan which includes a means of egress, how you're going to get out of the house, and a meeting place outside of the home. So especially, again, when you have young children, they need to know how they're going to escape the house.
This father's quick thinking is what possibly saved his family's lives.
If you have a fire that's manageable, grab the extinguisher and put it out. And in this case, Dad was definitely the hero in this case. He was able to quickly recognize what was happening in his home, grab the extinguisher, put it out, get his kids, get out of the home.
Yeah, and the dad says he doesn't have any plans of replacing that hoverboard. You know, Harris didn't think he'd ever see his championship rings again, but that all changed last week when he got an unexpected phone call from someone he never met.
It was like I want them again. Yeah, it was like I want them again, and he was presenting them to me to wear them.
Tonight, a heartfelt reunion. A prized possession thought to be lost forever is now back in the hands of its owner. 6 years ago, Hydro Harris says he was riding on a Mardi Gras float in downtown Mobile when 2 of his blunt championship rings went missing.
After I got home, after the parades and stuff, I started looking everywhere and could never find them. So, and I just had never found them. For me, the hard work that I put in for they meant a lot to me.
Harris says he got the rings when Blunt won 2 state championships in 1990 and again in 1992. He says he was devastated losing something so sentimental. But last week, Harris got an interesting message from a stranger saying they found something he might want.
I was feeling on my pockets. I'm like, well, did I lose my wallet? So I'm like, I haven't lost anything. So, and I'm like, well, why would they be calling me?
Come to find out, it was Jamie Malone calling to tell Harris he found his rings in the exact same spot 6 years later.
I was sitting at home and decided I just wanted to go do a little metal detecting, and so got a signal on the ground and bent down, dug it up, and there was one ring, and dug a little deeper, and there was a second ring.
After seeing the engraving on the rings, Malone was determined to return it to the owner. He says within minutes he was able to track down Harris online to meet up and return the rings. The 2 men who met as strangers say they're now lifelong friends.
Like my new best friend right here, so I tell him I can never thank him enough, and he'll always have a part of me and a part of my heart.
Love it.
I did. I loved getting the chance to tell this story because how unique is it to find something you lost 6 years ago?